Louisa May Alcott was 36 years old when she wrote Little Women in 1868. She was the second of four daughters of an extraordinary family who lived in and around Boston. She was the daughter of Abba Alcott, who was an aristocrat who had married Bronson Alcott very late in life. Bronson Alcott was kind of a visionary and kind of a jerk. You can usually get a fight going about Bronson Alcott pretty easily. He was one of these characters. He wore a cape and a big hat, and he carried a cane, and he had long blonde hair, but he had a lot of trouble making a living. And he's been very, very criticized for being unable to support his family, and also for other things, as we'll see. But I've gotten a little soft on him in my as the years have gone by. Anyway, she was the daughter of Bronson Alcott, and Bronson Alcott, I believe, was an educational genius. He was like A.S. Neal. He really was the first person in this country to start progressive education. And he did it because he believed, and he had no education, so he pulled this out of the sky. He believed that children were angels who came from heaven, as Wordsworth had written, trailing clouds of glory. Now, most people in the 1840s believed that children were vipers who had to be forcefully civilized before they could join us, big people. Bronson believed the opposite. He believed that adults could learn from children, so of course his schools were a whole lot more fun than anybody else's schools, and his schools were filled with fascinating things: alarm clocks, pitchers of water. His schools featured children asking questions. Children liked going to his schools, and he gave Louisa one great thing, which was the community in which she grew up. His friends were Emerson and Thoreau and Hawthorne and all kinds of people like that. So as a girl, she was taught by Thoreau. She used Emerson's library right away, and she grew up in this extraordinary progressive intellectual community as the daughter of a man who was very respected in that community. Bronson was fascinated by children, just fascinated. He wasn't just an educator, he was a kind of student of children. And he liked to do experiments on them in his schoolroom. And of course, his number one lab rats were his daughters, who didn't have much choice about being experimented on. So I'm just going to read you a couple of paragraphs about an experiment that Bronson did when Louisa was 3 and Anna was 5. Bronson produced an apple just before dinner time, when his subjects were especially hungry, and asked Anna if little girls should take things that did not belong to them. No, Anna responded, they should not. Then he asked both Anna and Louisa if they would ever do such a thing as take an apple without asking for it. They both agreed that they would not. When Bronson returned to the room after dinner, the apple had been reduced to a core next to Louisa's place at the table. Bronson asked what it was. Apple, admitted Louisa. Anna blurted out the whole story. She was a great tattletale, Anna. A story in which she and Louisa had both tried to get the apple, but Louisa had gotten there first. Then Louisa had eaten some of it. Anna had grabbed it and thrown it in the grate, but Louisa had fished it out, brushed it off, and eaten the rest. Louisa, as usual, was the villain of the piece. Bronson always believed Anna. Louisa confessed that she had eaten the apple because I wanted it. In another apple experiment, Bronson left an apple on the wardrobe alone with Louisa, who put up a struggle as her father and mother, she's 3, secretly listened and took notes. During the course of the morning, Louisa's mother reported that she several times took the apple in her hands and caressed it wistfully. No, no, father's, me not take father's apple, naughty, naughty. Then she ate the apple. When confronted by her mother, she explained, me could not help it. Me must have it.